I swear every time I order matcha from Joe and the Juice on a delivery app, they forget the straw, which just like ruins the vibes. You can't drink an iced coffee or matcha without the straw, but here I am. I guess I will leave this down here. It doesn't take an insane degree or high intellect to see that the old model is dead. Climbing the corporate ladder is simply not the only way to make a living or a respectable living at that. In 2025, the smartest thing you can do is build a one person business, whatever you want to call it, freelancing one person business. No massive loads of employees or purchasing products or overheads, just you, your skill set, automation, maybe an assistant or some help here and there, but really it's just skill, strategy, and knowing how to scale. I think it's so interesting how people, even in corporate jobs, are so afraid of AI and automation. And while, yeah, they can replace some industries, what it creates is more accessibility. It gives you more opportunity, more leverage. Not to sound like an ecom bro, although more times than not I do. Most people will cling to stability or what they know until it literally eats them alive, and then they have no opportunity because the world has gone so far into this new AI automation era, and they missed out on that time when they could learn how to build and get immersed in it and figure out, okay, this is what I can do with what is happening in the world. There's obviously a shift happening, and I think it's important to be curious about it and see what that entails. For me, I think that this shift is clear, that this one-person business model, this idea of freelancing, skilled labor, is going to be rewarded much more. I'm a multi-six-figure freelancer. I do direct response marketing, and I didn't start with a bunch of money or a fancy degree or some insane connection. I literally just looked online and started to learn about the different skills that people offer. What do you mean by that? Skills that businesses really need. All the people during the pandemic that were starting businesses and then actually the business being really successful and blowing up needed people with specific skill sets to help maintain or scale that, so that they were growing the business to the point where they wanted to grow it and they were maintaining it as a whole. So I started with copywriting. I thought website copywriting would be good. It was really popular on TikTok, etc. And then I started to get immersed into these businesses and realized they needed way more than copywriting. And I had the skills to, or at least the excitement, curiosity, and the capability of learning other skills that businesses needed. So that's what I did. I learned more skills, I packaged them, and then I offer them to clients. Now I'm more of like a high level consultant. While I still do deliverables, I still do work, I still make paid ads, I still do copy. I am very well versed in the e-com world, in offers, strategy, sales, all those things. So it allows me to have my hands in different pots and then become really valuable to businesses who are new and who are already established, but are learning how to navigate this new digital landscape, which is fairly new. One of my favorite clients, they made most of their money before this whole social media and digital ads wave. So they don't really know how to do paid ads well. And then that's where I come in. I have this knowledge of offer and strategy and paid ads, and I can help them take their already amazing existing business and help it excel in this new climate that we have in marketing products. And because of that, I can buy my matcha every day and not blink. And obviously, I'm not buying matcha every day, but you can make more than you think freelancing, having a one-person business, not having a business in the sense of, oh, I have all these employees and do all these things. Just simply offering the right services that bring value that your clients desperately need, and then getting really good at that. So you can do that at a pretty fast pace. And then what do you know? You have this amazing business that's bringing in revenue. You can even productize some things. Look, AI is there. I create GPTs for my clients. There's so many things you can do. And if you want to go a little bit deeper into understanding, okay, what skills can I even offer and package and sell based on my experience and blah, 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 I have a free 60-minute course in the description where I break this down. It's really bingeable, but actionable. And it comes with also like a worksheet that you can fill out, which will help you really put this into perspective and then go out there and try it out. So yeah, it's about, moving with the times and buying the matcha and whatever. But what it's really about is finding fulfillment and doing day-to-day actions that don't feel soul crushing. A 9-to-5 isn't inherently soul crushing, but a lot of people are working 9-to-5s they hate. If you feel like you are a better fit for a 9-to-5 and this will be what you stay in, then by all means, stay in a 9-to-5. But if you feel like, want to be able to choose my clients, I want to be able to choose the work I'm doing so that I feel aligned with it and I don't feel like I have to procrastinate every second, and I actually see the fruits of my labor and I can see how the value that I'm putting into the business or putting into my work is actually showing forth. I can see it with my own eyes and be like, wow, this I created, I helped this process. Then seek to find that. Starting a one-person business is what gave me that. Not because it was always dreamy and amazing and I didn't have to work sometimes 12-hour days to build it up and get to this point, but because it allowed me to pursue what I wanted to pursue when I wanted to pursue it, and showed me how being ahead of the curve and constantly investing in yourself and knowing what's going on in your industry and not being forced into one position because you work with someone who tells you this is the only thing you can do, made me feel confident, made me feel empowered, made me feel like I'm living a life where I'm creating the direction that I'm moving in. And even if I'm not working on my quote unquote life mission, I'm working with brands and people that align with my values. And my proximity to my purpose is what gives me energy. So as an example, she freelances, speaking to women online about personal development in an almost philosophical way. Like that makes me feel energized. And I get to do that off the back of building my freelance business, not only because I can invest in it monetarily, but because I have the time as well. Building a freelance business, a one-person business, allows you to pivot instantly. If something were to change in the world or you see a new shift happening, you don't need to wait for approvals or look for a new job. You can take the actions to get you where you want, which means ultimately you can move faster than 99% of people because it's all up to you. Number two, you keep most of what you make, no office, no overheads, blah, blah, blah. As a freelancer, I pay for a few softwares to keep me going, Calendly, AdSpy softwares, yada, 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 yada. That's it. It's just me, my laptop against the world. Number three, I have autonomy. I live around how I feel, my cycle as a woman, when my slower weeks, when I'm in my luteal phase, when I'm in my period, I tone down, I book more important meetings and events and do things like recording these videos when my energy is high and in my high energy weeks. I rest when I need and I work deeply when I'm inspired. And that has made such a big impact in my life because then the work that I do, I'm much more proud of and happy to put out there. And I have this sense that I own my identity, my income, and my impact. So as I mentioned, I have the free 60-minute course in the description, but I'm gonna break down in quick fire steps how you could go about building this one-person business or freelancing. So number one, you pick one skill to start with, a skill that feels intuitive to you, that you're aligned with, that you maybe already know, or you can effortlessly kind of build up. And that skill is desperately needed. And you just need to not feel like you absolutely hate it, and you could do this consistently. Then you want to package it into an offer. Sometimes it will require adjacent skills or require you having niche understanding of an industry. So let's say copywriting in the finance space. Maybe you really have a lot of niche knowledge on money and crypto because it's just like your side thing that you like to watch videos about. That's how you can package that and pair that, right? Or you're into fashion, or you're into pop culture, you're into drama, or into astrology, whatever it is. One skill, and then find a way to package it. I go into depth about this in the course, but that's really the gist of it, right? Within that packaging the offer, it's not just the niche, it's also about how is it solving a problem for them and what outcome will they get. So that way you're not tying it to the amount of time that you're working, but the value that you're bringing by knowing that outcome. And then you learn how to position yourself in that industry to solve that problem and to get into the front of the right people. You learn what you need to say, how you need to say it, and how you need to show up on calls, or what you need to prepare to send to them to get their attention, to get that work done for them. And then lastly, most importantly, which most freelancers, solopreneurs forget, which is the key to scaling, is building systems. So make it repeatable. You want to create automation, templates, SOPs. You're not trying to create another job, you're trying to create a business. So you need to put those things in place so you can continuously repeat this and do this on go whenever, wherever. And here's the thing, most people don't actually try this stuff, or they maybe even think, oh yeah, I need to do this, or I would be really good at this, or I know someone would pay me for this, but they don't do it because they're waiting for clarity, or they're waiting for someone to say yes. You cannot wait for clarity in that way. You can't wait for confidence. You can't wait to be chosen. You have to choose yourself and then go build the life you want like you actually want it, period. The world is changing. Therefore, in my opinion, so should your strategy. Learn a skill, learn how to sell it, repeat, repeat, repeat. Then use that leverage to build the life you want, buy all the matcha you want, do all the things you want. I promise it'll help you go get paid. Bye.